Hey guys, Rozo here, back with another Mythic Plus video for you. So today's video, I'm going over an 11 mists I ran the other day, and the group was really good that I played with, and we were able to 2-chest it, no problem. Now, what's really cool about this run is that I was able to showcase many of the tips and tricks I showed in my recent mists tips and tricks video. So I'll make sure to point those out as we get to them. Before we get started with the key, I want to mention that I'm doing a giveaway on my channel. We reached 1,000 subs quite fast, so I'm really happy about that. And I'd like to give back to you guys. It's really easy to enter. You just go to my YouTube channel on my posts here. You just have to comment below the post. Comment anything here, and that's how you enter. And the giveaway, I'm going to be doing I'm not sure what to call it, coaching, kind of VOD review, vlog review, dungeon, coaching, something like that. I'd like to help you one-on-one, help somebody with something they have questions about. Right? We'll get in a Discord call, we can go over something specific, and it should be fun. A learning experience, fun to talk and hang out. And if you win and you don't play a Warlock, because I can't really coach other classes, I'll just buy you a Mythic Raid BOE or something. So just go read all the info here on the post, and just make sure to comment below if you want to enter. It's free, no weird gimmicks, just comment, that's it. If you want to sub, that'd be cool too. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so for this key, the talents I was running are the ones I always run as Affliction. So far for this season, these have just been my Affliction talents. I run Shadowbolt instead of Drain Soul. I like the mobility you get from having Nightfall procs on Shadowbolt. Being able to move and shoot these out while your moving position is really nice. This is just the general talent set here. Outside of this, I want to show you my stats. Well, so I have a really high amount of crit, really high crit, really high haste, and mastery is a bit behind. I have really low versatility. This is kind of my talent, my stat setup. You don't need to copy my stats 100%. Mine probably aren't even perfect, but I've had a lot of comments asking about what my stats are and stuff. This is here my percents. You can see what I'm rocking with in the keys. Obviously my trinkets. I've got the Mad Queen's Mandate. It's my Master's Web. You can make great use of these in this specific dungeon, and I'll point out how I use these effectively later. So let's go ahead and get into the actual key. I can start the commentary. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
5.
You can see before the key started, we were kind of talking about what skip we're going to do.
4.
We decided on doing the Warlock Gate skip.
1.
We have a Demon Hunter tank, so he can CC mobs, and we can skip them that way too, but we're doing the Gate skip. Before the key started, I used my potion. I pre-potted. You can pre-pot, and you can also pre-cast your Foul Domination before the key starts. You have it up to summon your pet instantly. I forgot to do this one. I think I was tabbed out, or I was eating something as the key started, so I was playing catch up. It was very scary for me there. So the first pack here, these ones that are crawling, these mobs, they have a lunge. They'll lunge at you and put a huge bleed on you if you're not in melee range, if you're not close to them. So you'll see at the beginning, I just run and stick with my group. I don't sit back and start casting on them. But once I'm closer, I go ahead and start applying some agonies to mobs. And then I get ready to go ahead and just AoE here. You want to make sure you stay close to the group, so if your tank starts kiting the mobs away, you gotta follow them. First doing our AoE. So you see here, the tank moved the mobs away from us, and I got lunged on, so I have to walk forward. I have to stop casting. He's a Demon Hunter tank. Demon Hunters like the kite. And these mobs just do a lot of damage too, so I understand it. Shaman died to something, I'm not sure what it was. But I see that the mobs are getting low. I'm going to go ahead and come over here and start casting my gateway. I made a Mists of Tirna Scithe tip and tricks video going over how to do this precisely. And you'll see here that it takes me like 5 tries to get it because I'm just not paying attention. I'm just trying to do it quickly. In my video, I mentioned you have to aim it at like a certain little area, and I'm just not doing that. So I spend too much time doing it. I'm not looking behind me. This mob targets me with a spirit bolt. I'm half HP from this curse, or whatever. I'm not sure why I'm half HP, to be honest with you. But this goes off, and it just kills me. So I get the gate off, but then I get killed, which is kind of annoying. Like the spirit bolt, done me in. That's okay. Gate got down, so the group can go ahead without me, and I'll just catch up. This pack here, you have 2 casters and 2 melee mobs. These casters are quite annoying. Like I said, the spirit bolt just did over half my HP in one hit. So what I'll do is I'll drop my Vile Taint on them here. Vile Taint applies Agony and Curse of Exhaustion, which slows their movement speed. I'll drop this, and then I will target the casters and put Curse of Tongues on them. I want their casts to be slower and easier to kick. If I apply Curse of Tongues first, Vile Taint will apply Curse of Exhaustion, and they can only have 1 curse, so it will override it, which is pretty annoying. Make sure I apply that, then I Curse of Tongues them. I only Curse of Tongues one of them. This guy in particular got screwed over by me, I guess. We're just going to go ahead and kill these. Make sure I walk in this room here to get the mushroom. You always want to get the light green mushroom that gives 10% stats. I go ahead and drop my demonic circle here so I can run past, get the mushroom, and just teleport back. I'm trying to keep up here. We got a bit unlucky with these. The affix went into those big mobs, which is really scary. We have 4 of them, so I really need to make sure I'm not standing in these little spires. One thing to note too about these, you can see as the mob starts casting the upheaval, or whatever it's called, you can start running to the side, and if you jump as this comes up, you won't be slowed. Normally if you stand here, it slows you and it's annoying to run out. But as the upheaval is spawning, if you move to the side and then jump, your character will keep your momentum and you won't be slowed and you'll jump straight out of it. Or you can just keep walking and you're pretty much always good. Yeah, so if you walk instantly, you're fine. I always like to kind of jump just for the swag factor. I'm not doing it here, but I do it quite often. I tried to tab target and reapply Agony, and I missed it both times. I Soulburn Healthstone here. So these ads here, right, when they get to 50% HP, they do a bit of an enrage, and that's where this slam comes from, the Furious Thrashing. When they're 50% HP, they do this, the huge group-wide AoE that's just constant. So with these mobs, you really want to focus one down faster than the other. This one's at 50, he's enraging, it's about to finish. And then this one gets pushed to 50% immediately after, and then he starts doing the AoE slam. It's quite bad. I don't have my wall, so I just gotta do what I can to live here. The Shaman's God is taken care of, but that's bad planning on our part. One thing you'll see, I have Soul Rot coming up here. I'm gonna go ahead and send my Soul Rot on these, but I'm saving my 2-minute cooldowns. We're gonna kill these, and then we have to pull the boss. And then we gotta get the tree guy all the way down to 20% HP. So it might be pretty close, but I have a good idea that I'll have plenty of time to do damage with my Soul Rot and have the cooldown back up by the time we need to use it on the actual boss. Go ahead and send Man Queen's Mandate just to execute him. You'll see I spam drop my Hellstones a lot too. Here, same as before with the casters, I drop Vile Taint, and then I'll immediately put Curse of Exhaustion on the small boss. That way, it's not as big of a deal interrupting his Petal Bolt or whatever. Spear Bolt. Now we're just DPSing the boss. We gotta get the tree at 20%, and then he kind of CCs the small guy. The small guy takes a bunch of extra damage. What's unfortunate is that I died earlier, so my Spymaster's Web stacks kind of got reset. Yeah. You'll see here that the Shaman went ahead and lusted at like 25-ish%. That's pretty perfect timing. Because the guy isn't stunned for... He's stunned for like 20 seconds, I think, or 15 seconds. You can lust a little bit beforehand, just to get everything ready. What I should have been doing beforehand here, I'm not sure what I was paying attention to. You want to have all of your dots and everything applied perfectly before the tree gets to 20%. So you can immediately just start funneling damage into the small guy. You'll see that I wasn't ready yet, so I had to apply some dots and get everything set up. And then I wasted like 3 seconds of the damage amp, which is just horribly terrible. Super, super bad. One thing to note is that you can always attack the small guy, right? So before the tree gets to 20%, what I should be doing here is I should make sure I have full Shadow's Embrace on Ingram Warlock, right? So he takes the extra damage from me. And then what I want to do, if I have the Soul Shards, Vile Tant would be good. And then I want to Soul Rot Ingram Warlock, like right before the Enrage happens. Because Soul Rot does extra damage to your main target. And then I have this talent here. That way, Soul Rot gives me crit and haste based on how many targets I hit. So I want to cast Soul Rot on Ingram Warlock when the tree is at like 21% or something. So that as soon as I get the buffs, and then we go into just blasting the tree guy, blasting the small guy. But I wasn't ready with my things, so I had to reapply some stuff, and it doesn't. I mean, honestly, it's okay that I missed it. You don't have to have it perfectly like that. But yeah, you can see our group's damage is really good, and we're just blasting him. And you'll see here, I'm just not generating any soul shards. I got incredibly unlucky. I'm just spamming shadow bolts. It's crazy. I got so unlucky with my soul shards there. If I got more soul shards, he would have been down like 5% more. That's okay. We still one-phase it, so it's no problem. Also, if I didn't die and my Spymaster's Web was higher, it might have also... He would have taken more damage, but we're doing okay. So I'll let him get it a little bit lower, then I'll go ahead and just drop my Mad Queen's Mandate, try and execute him. But I just kind of send it, just... Honestly, I don't know why I sent it there. Yeah, so one thing to note. Okay, the boss, when you get the tree to 20%, he stuns the small guy. We attack the small guy for a while. After the small guy gets out of the CC, he starts yelling at the big guy, and they can both be attacked. The small guy, it's good to hit him, but when he casts this ability, Embrace Darkness, it makes him take 80% reduced damage. So if you are going to focus the small guy, after you get through that first phase, you need to decide pretty much immediately which one you're going to focus. If you choose to attack the small guy, you need to be able to guarantee you're going to be able to get through his HP. If he has like 20 million left or something when he takes the reduced damage, like 5% or whatever, that's probably fine. But if he's going to be at like 10 or 15% when it gets down to this cast and he takes reduced damage, it's not a good call. So just try and keep an idea of how much HP he has and decide. Normally, if his current HP is lower than the max HP of the tree after this phase ends, it's a good call to focus him. You'll see here, I tap target and check. So he's got like probably 170-ish million after this, and we'll see what the tree has. 160 million. And the tree's got 165. So the small guy has less HP, and this group's DPS is really good, so I imagine we can do that much DPS in like 50 seconds. Alright, I have 30 seconds to do it. Plus, we just got the affix as well. We still have lust rolling, so it should be easy peasy. Also, throughout the fight, I want to make sure that I keep agony on both bosses if I can. He's about to die, so I'm not worried about it, but throughout the whole fight, keeping agony on both of them will just help you generate more soul shards. Nice, there we go. Okay, editing Crozo here. I forgot to talk about if you two-phase this boss. So it's not uncommon when you fight the boss to have to DPS the tree again down to 20%. So that way, Ingram Warlock takes the increased damage, right? So you can burst him second time. Just sometimes you don't have the damage to only one phase it. In that case, if you have the Mad Queen's Mandate like I do, it can really, really pop off on him during the damage increase. Here's one run where I hit him for 19.6 million. Pretty good. It was a really, really strong hit. But in a different run, I had him with a crit for 39.3 million in an 11. So you can see that that trinket does a lot of damage on that boss during the damage increase. So if you end up having to two-phase, right, go through two phases, having this one on the second phase, like the second time he takes increased damage, he'll be lower HP, so the trinket's effect works better. It scales when they're missing HP, and then he takes increased damage already, so it's just a double whammy and does a bunch of damage. Alright, so next, I'm going to go ahead and pull mobs through the wall. I'll show you how I get up and do this. I'm going to send my Fell Hunter through this wall on the right, and pull a pack into this one here, because it's quite inefficient to just kill these two. So I walk up next to the wall. I have enemy nameplates enabled. One sec, sorry. I'll make it easier to see. I have enemy nameplates enabled. I walk up next to the wall, and I can see enemies through the wall. I make sure I put my pet on passive, and then I send him in to attack one of these mobs. So I target this mob here. My pet's on passive. I will send my pet to go attack this mob, and then I can start DPSing these mobs. The reason I put him on passive is because if I keep him on assist, what will happen is I will send him to attack this mob, and then I'll start fighting these, and I'll cast on these mobs. And then since he will assist me, he'll start attacking these. So you want to keep him on passive, go attack these, and then bring him back. And then you can, put him back on assist afterwards. Having a weak aura that says your pet's on passive is good, so you don't forget about him. And one thing you'll see here that I'm doing is my pet's got a purge, right? Devour magic. This is ranged. What I'll do is I will target one of these mobs, and I'll cast his purge from like 15 yards away, so it pulls them sooner, and I can try and get my pet out of there without dying, so I don't need to use Feldom and resummon him. So I'll cast this on the mob, and as soon as I tag the mob, I'm just spamming passive, so he comes back to me. You'll see that I'm targeting the mob. I'm not DPSing right now. Spamming this, spam passive, and he'll come back to me, and he shouldn't die, which is cool. My camera angle is terrible here, but once the mobs are in, I'm going to go ahead and just, Seed of Corruption, and I'll do Vile Taint, and try and apply my dots to as many as possible, and then I'll try and pop off with what cooldowns I have. I even send Spymaster's Web here too, because it's kind of a big pack, and I'm going to have it up by the time we get to the boss anyways, so I don't mind sending it. Our mage died here to one of the mechanics, so I mouse over the seed to see if we clicked it to move the respawn. And we did, so the mage was just kind of just waiting for us to tell him it was safe to release. What you can do is these expels here, they cast expel on you. If they charge you and knock you back. If you have a demonic circle on the ground and they charge you, as soon as the charge hits you and knocks you back, you can demonic circle back to the ground. I don't do it in this key. I just keep getting knocked back and being annoyed. But as soon as they hit you and knock you back, you can just teleport back to your circle and get back to casting and not get sent out really far from your group. I don't do it for some reason in this key, but that is something you can do. So we saw her go this way at the beginning. We'll start going this side of the dungeon.
Hooray! You're almost there.
And we'll just start fighting. in the maze here, there's definitely a bit of a priority list for what mobs you want to focus. In this group here, there's the Tinder. I'm not targeting the Tinder because I guess I'm trolling. What the Tinder does is they cast a heal. And if you don't kick it, it puts a hot on the enemies here that heals them for like 3% of their HP a second. It's really, really important to kick that. It died really fast, so I didn't need to focus it, but definitely good call to keep it targeted. I'm not sure why I wasn't doing that. Okay, so we'll go into this room here. Since this room has just one of the mini bosses, there's 3 mini bosses. There's this guy, there's a big frog, and then there's like some earth plant elemental thing. The dragon's a bit annoying, but what I'm telling them in the chat is that I'm going to pull through the wall if they want. I'm trying to find the wall that'll have mobs in it. It's always like a preset walls will have mobs. Like this wall over here is the one that's going to have the mobs in it. Different room designs have different like walls that are guaranteed to have mobs in it. And I was just at the wrong walls. I'll check the wall behind me too, looking for mobs, and it's just the wrong one. But pulling mobs here in the maze is the exact same as it was earlier, like after the boss. And in that room, and I'm like, whoops, wrong place. So I make sure I go over here. I target them. Alright, so my pet in. My pet's going. He's on assist, so maybe I made up the whole thing about being on passive. But I didn't put my pet on passive. I thought that's how it worked. I'll have to do some research. Okay, and now we have a extra pack from the other room here with us on this mini boss, and we're gonna go crazy. One more thing to note, where I'm standing here, this is a pool that the dragon drops. This pool heals you for a certain amount of your HP a second. This pool is dropped by like the deer people, the guardians or defenders. This one does damage to you. So don't stand in this one. I go stand in it and I'm like, wait, that's the wrong pool. And I keep typing instead of helping do the maze for some reason. Normally everybody says the maze is the healer mechanic. There's also a weak aura you can install that will do the maze for you after the first 2 rooms or so. I don't have the weak aura. Normally like the healer has the weak aura, so that's what I was assuming. Okay, this room is very specific. This room layout, there's no like wall here. No gate here. You walk into this room and there's a pack here, and there's no gate, and then you continue to like the second half of the one big room, and there's always a pack here and then a pack in that room as well. I thought he was just gonna chain pull these mobs into those, so I was saving my cooldowns on this pack, and I just kind of wasn't doing damage because I expected to chain pull into them, but I think it's smart he didn't do that. Our tank was doing really well. Like he was pulling a lot but wasn't over pulling. I can respect that. These guardians and defenders are a bit annoying to have a bunch of at once, so I get it. They do a bunch of the they put the stuff on the ground here that makes you take a bunch of damage if you're in it, and the enemies take reduced damage in it, and they have the expel, like the charge that knocks you back and does a bunch of damage. So yeah, they did a really good job playing around that. Now I'm finally targeting the Tinder. I'll make sure I kick their ability. Let me get through this pack, no problem. Yeah, this group's done a very efficient clear through the maze. They've done a great job so far. I can see it's the one that's empty. Like now looking back on it, it's obvious, but in the moment I was like, what?
You're almost there.
Now we're on the boss. My Spy Master's Web is fully stacked soon. I don't have Soul Rod up, and I don't have my 2 minutes, so I'm just gonna wait to use my cooldowns later. I'll send Soul Rot right here and just do damage to the boss. But this boss she faces at 70%, 40%, and 10%. And does the little mini game. So I want to, make sure I have a lot of time to use my burst. If I use it, at 80%, it's kind of a waste because she starts becoming immune at 70%. But if I use my cooldowns immediately after the phase ends, then I have plenty of time to get maximum use out of them. We have the minigame coming. There's also one thing important I want to note about this phase. You'll see that these foxes keep spawning the entire fight, and then during this phase, there's these little clones. The boss will cast her dodgeball mechanic, where she shoots like snowballs at you. If you stand on one of these, like whatever the target is, and she shoots a snowball through it, the snowball will do a decent amount of this mob's HP. It's a noticeable amount. If she gets hit with several, it's almost half of the clone's HP. And if the fox gets hit by one or two of them, it'll also just like kill the fox as well. Which is really, really nice. My cooldowns are coming up now. I know I have about 15% to do damage. I'm just going to send my cooldowns anyways. Because by this point, nobody else is going to have their cooldowns up right now for it. So, while I could have maybe done more damage with it at a different time, I just send it here to get as much as I can right now. One without a ring. Over here. Yep. This time the clones take a bunch of damage. Yeah, it lost like 10% of its HP just from the snowballs. As a warlock, we can deal with these foxes by using Curse of Exhaustion, blow them, and then you can put Fear on them if you want to, or Mortal Coil is fine. Problem with Fear is that they just kind of run in a random direction. So if you're just going to spam Fearing one of them, you need to use Curse of Exhaustion so it doesn't run up on your team too fast. Or just put Fear and hope it doesn't do it. Somebody died there. I didn't see we had a death for a while, so the guy stayed dead for a bit too long. Definitely on me there, I could arrest him. But also on him for getting hit by the snowball. Yeah, I Mortal Coiled it and it started running straight at me for some reason. Not cool. I have my Mad Queen's Mandate. I use it on the boss. Right into the phase. Nice. We have plenty of time. We're really far ahead of time right now. When we go down there, we got to make sure that somebody clicks on the seed to the right to change our respawn location. We don't want to spawn at the front. That's way too far. I'll go ahead and click the gate here, the seed. And what you can do, in my tips and tricks video, I went over this. If you stand on this root here, you can throw your gate down here and skip these mobs. It really depends on where this mob is standing, for where you should throw your gate. If the mob is standing right here, close to the edge we want to throw our gate, we want to throw it down here on the root. The problem with throwing your gate on the root is that people tend to just walk off the edge and die, so it's really scary. Your best RNG is if this bug is like walking up this way and is over here. You should be able to gate from here to the ground and run past him no problem. I kind of do this just for fun. We have a Demon Hunter, and the Demon Hunter will go ahead and imprison this mob, and we can't aggro it if we walk straight through it. So he'll imprison it, and I'll just gateway for fun. You can see what it looks like. So normally, like I said, you throw it on the root here. And from the root, you kind of jump up or walk up here carefully, and it's fine, you skip it. But I hate putting it here because people always fall off. You put it on the ground up here, if the bug is like walked past over here, then it's safe. But he imprisons it anyways, so we're just chilling. Now we're gonna do a big pull. We're gonna lust this big pull apparently too. Lusting this one's the first for me, but I'm down for it. I'm just trying to apply my dots to as many mobs as possible. I really should be trying to get these affixes. I should help, but I didn't help get any of them at all. And I don't have my full dots on every single mob. I just want to try and do damage while Lust is up, and I can do damage before these guys just kill every mob. I'm doing what I can, but once they start getting thinned out, I'll try and actually fix my dots and use my procs here. Definitely a backwards way of playing it, but now I'm just going to make sure I apply Agony to every single mob. Because next time I need to apply Agony or refresh it, I have Vile Taint. Saving Vile Taint for the next pack was also not a bad idea. I just went ahead and sent it there.
Do you see? A stone to call forth the darkness.
I figured the mobs were going to die pretty quick, so I waited till like the last second to reapply Agony. This group doesn't have one of the mobs that gives the big shield. These ones just have the annoying AoE, like green circles you gotta deal with. That's okay. If you use AoE Stun, like Shadow Fury, while they're casting those green circles, you can cancel the circles. I could have sent Soul Rot there, which... Yeah, I probably should have sent Soul Rot like immediately on those, but I didn't know how soon he'd pull under the boss. So I sent it a bit late, and it won't line up very well. On this boss here, it is ideal if we can stand near the middle, and when these ads come in, you can tab target and then corruption each of the ads. Corruption, 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 corruption. And then when the ads get close to the boss, you Vile Taint, try and get all the ads with it, and target the boss and Soul Rot the boss. Doing it this way, you'll have corruption on all of them without using your Seed of Corruption, because it won't really reach them unless they're on the boss, but they're probably dead by that point. Then you'll have Vile Taints and Agony, and Soul Rot will also be on them. And because of our talent, each mob hit with Soul Rot increases your crit and haste. You'll be able to just blast really hard. You see, I'll drop Vile Taint here once I get out of the stuff. I'll do Soul Rot, pop my cooldowns, everything. And the ads died pretty much instantly. But also, I'm just spam talking, sorry. But one thing here, this green circle, you saw I was just standing in it. The boss will pull you in. You don't die as long as you are out of this ring by the time this cast ends. It'll keep pulling you in. If you're in the middle here, it'll kill you when the cast ends. But if you just get back out to the edge before the cast is over, it's fine. So if you're like greeting a cast, finishing one cast and get pulled in there while your cooldowns are up, like me, that's okay. But if you're in the very middle without like Demonic Circle, you're donezo. Because the pull gets pretty strong. Okay, and then she has this ability here. She gets a small shield, and she does this really annoying AoE until the shield is broken. What I'll do later is my Mad Queen's Mandate is coming up. She shields again next at 40% HP. But what I'm going to do is I'll save Mad Queen's Mandate to use on the shield. Because I just want to get through that phase as quick as possible. You see here, I drop Corruption on the mobs. Not all of them. I wasn't paying attention before they spawned. So I'll do this phase here, then go straight into the shield. And then I have Mad Queen's Mandate. I use it immediately to help break the shield faster. Because this phase is just a horrible nightmare. It's so hectic and does so much damage. here my cooldowns are up, but I'm waiting for the ads to come in so I get maximum value out of them. We'll let the ads get closer, then I'm going to tab target and corruption, and then, like I said, Vile Taint and Soul Rot. Yeah, so Vile Taint, Soul Rot. I pop Spymaster's Web again, even though it only has like 8 stacks. And that I do what I can. Now, when those little ads die, they drop these poison puddles on the ground. That's from the ads. So when you kill an ad, you don't really want to be standing directly on top of it like I was, unless you just want to take damage for no reason. That was really scary there. I thought I was definitely dead. I threaded the needle on that one for sure. The ads are up, but I'm just gonna get the boss, so I don't care. But the ads, they're dead. Nice. And so all we need now is percent. So we'll kill this pack and then the flying bugs above us. And then we'll go to that pack in the very far corner back there. And that'll be it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I can do as much damage as possible and get the key up with. Also making sure to kick the stimulate resistance. We don't want them to have the big shield. I got quite unlucky. That mob charged out of the group as my Seed of Corruption exploded. So I didn't Seed of Corruption one of the bug ads here. And I see that they're going to go ahead and pull straight into the next pack. Instead of running up here and immediately putting dots on this pack, I still have a decent amount of damage coming out because of my Soul Rot on those 3 ads and then my buff from Soul Rot. So I sit there and I channel a few more Raptures so I can get, actually get more damage out of my Soul Rots. But it probably was better just to go ahead and come to this next pack and start dotting them immediately. It doesn't. We're super far ahead of time. It doesn't matter anyways. But that was just my thoughts now.
Do you see? I told
We really only needed one mob in that pack, but we were all just AoEing them anyway. You can see here at the end of the key, I got destroyed in overall by the shaman. Close your bag. Yeah, the shaman obliterated us in DPS. Shaman did crazy damage. 1.83 isn't bad. Definitely could have been a bit better if I didn't die before the first boss, and my Spy Masters was fully stacked, and I got soul shards, and if I wasn't coping so much. And also, if I played the key a bit better, my damage probably could have been over, 2 million DPS, maybe. We'll have to see next time I try one of these, but yeah, that's the key. I felt pretty happy with it overall. It was, really, really well done by my whole group. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.